Ya estamos cargadísimos de la idea.
Hello, hello, hello. Right, we are live. This is the Fast Track FBA Weekly Live, and obviously I'm here to support you with your calls. I'm just going to quickly update something. So if you guys are here, obviously got any questions, do drop them down below. Just drop your questions down below and I will answer them. So that's absolutely fine. We can do it a lot better. So, guys, if you've got questions, do drop them down below, and obviously I will answer them for you. Oh, StreamYard, there we go. Just want to quickly edit this banner. So, big thing that I really want to talk about this week, as we say in my business, accountability. Cannot stress it enough. If you like, look, put it this way, if you're following me and you're following my journey, we do 1 million in the US and we do like 3.5 million in the UK, like 3.4 now. And the really big thing, like the biggest thing I can ever talk about in regards to our teams and what we're doing around them is, like my vision behind the business is I'm not here to do this myself. Like I'm not at all. Like I will not be out there sourcing, like doing that all the time. Like that's just not going to add value to my business. Let's pull that up, try and get some light on me. There we go. It's not going to add value to my business. I can do so much more by hiring staff. So if you are thinking about building a business and you want to build a business, not be, should we say, a solo business owner, then certainly follow what I'm doing. I can hopefully teach you a lot and share a lot about my journey. But the one big thing about when you're doing that, building a business, actually going through it all, is really about building a team. And when you have a team, it's about accountability. Should we say really setting the standard? Well, this is what we need to achieve. Talk about it in sourcing. Like every week, I need to spend 1,333, for example, because that works out. You just do the math. It's just numbers. Very simple. 1,333 in my business. I need to spend that every week because every month that means I make 5,600, I think, don't quote me. And then if we work at 30% ROI, I net out 1,600 gross profit minus the 400 for the year, and I make 1,200 net profit. That's the math. So your numbers, and your numbers are just simple mathematics, but your job is to ensure your team are accountable. Now, our job as leaders within our businesses is to make sure that we're holding those team members accountable to those numbers. And when we're not, so number one, we've got to make sure that we're very clear, like this is the goal, this is what I expect of you. Number two, we provide them with the training and support, what they need to get there. And then finally, number three, the final thing we're doing is that when they're not getting there, we are number one, highlighting the fact they're not getting there. And then number two is the fact that we're actually having that conversation about what they need to support or what they need to improve, how we can help them improve. But let's be crystal clear. We are here to help them, not we're here to do it for them. Now, their job is to get that result. That's something so key. And there's a big saying that good, she's a person that I follow. And by the way, guys, you've got questions, drop it down below. There's a good saying that people, a guy that I follow, Tony Robbins, he says, you get what you tolerate. Now, if you have VAs right now, and maybe your business isn't where it needs to be, or maybe you're, should we say, struggling around it, and the things, it's generally speaking because you've tolerated a substandard result. That's it. And I hate to say it, really is, but your job is to get in there and tell them very clear about what's doing, what the result is, and then to hold them accountable towards it. Now, 9 times out of 10, they're going to achieve it, and we want to celebrate that. Definitely, we should always look at the positive, but also as well, when they're underperforming, we should take them to one side and have a private conversation about, hey, I'm really sorry to say, this is the target you want to achieve. How are you performing right now? And they tell you, and you say, look, what are you doing about it? How are you going to improve it? And it's that accountability that will keep your business going forward. We've seen it time and time again with thousands of VAs, hundreds of VAs, should we say. We've hired over 550. Is that a VA will start, or anyone, my God, not just saying a VA, anyone in the job, they start really well, great. And the moment you kind of like let go of the accountability, standards start dropping, and it's that accountability that needs to be maintained. That is your standard. That is what you're tolerating. Have a high standard that you tolerate, you get high results. You get a low standard that you tolerate, trust me, they'll go up and then they'll go down and then they'll just sit at that bottom. Why? Because human beings, we naturally try and conserve energy. We naturally try and conserve energy. And the fundamental level is the fact that if we can do less and get the same result, then we'll do it, won't we? My God, if you can get paid the same amount and do less work, would you not do it? Of course you would. Like, why would you go and source all the time when you can hire someone else to do it? That's what you're doing. You're doing energy compensation. So really thinking about accountability, get what you tolerate with your team members, recognizing great success, but also as well maintaining a high standard. You get what you tolerate. Tony Robbins talks about it, and I cannot stress that enough. I really cannot. And I think it's such an important key lesson. And if you want to know, that is, I released a newsletter, Fast Track Fridays, a newsletter I'm putting out every week. whereby I talk about what's going on in my business. And one thing I talked about, I think it was my UK business last week, was accountability. Now we've probably got, I'm not going to lie, I reckon maybe double-digit VAs who have all been given screenshots of last week's performance was X. This is where you need to be. Please make sure that you're achieving this next week. Just send them, like, would you have a chat? And then we have a video call, my purchasing managers do. And then after that video call, we follow up with a message of like, hey, following on from our call, last week you need to achieve, I don't know, 4,000 spend and you only did 2,800. I need to see this improving next week and you need to be hitting that 4,000. And we have a screenshot of that saved into a Google Doc. And it's literally like, you can see so many of my VAs were like this. And look, and by the way, I'm not saying like we're harsh taskmasters, don't work for us, not at all, but we need to raise that standard. Q4 now is the time to be getting purchases, getting sales in. That standard is key. Why? Because that's driving our business forward. Ran over. Ah! So guys, if you've got questions, drop it down below. I am honestly going to answer them. If you're even here, just write hi. Like, I appreciate a couple of things. A couple of things I will just mention. Obviously, guys, if you do drop your questions down below, you can ask me anything, like maybe the Amazon business, what's going on. So the question which I will also ask, this week we are launching our VA Academy version 2.0. This is, should we say, the great VA service we've had. We've hired over 550 VAs for 300 clients, so we know what we're doing. Now we've changed the game. Now we said, if you are not, like, by the way, we understand the worries about hiring a VA. Like, if you are worried about hiring a VA, like, you've got to really think about, like, oh my God, like, I'm worried about what's going to go on. Well, with our service now, if you buy a VA from us, we will give you unlimited replacements. If you're not happy with the VA you get, you can say, can I get, like, I'm not happy with this guy, can I get a replacement? Just ask, we'll do it for you, not a problem. We'll do that for any time within the first 3 months after the first VA starts with you. And if you're still not happy at any time within the first 3 months, even at the like 2 months and 99 days or whatever it is, if you're still not happy with your VA and you're still like, look, Tom, I've tried like 1 VA, 2 VA, I'm still not happy, it's not working out, you can literally send us a message, say, Tom, can I get a refund? We'll give you 100% your money back guaranteed. Like, there is no risk to yourself. So if you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant and you're worried about, you know, it's like, oh my God, like, how many people say, like, I hired them, they started off okay, they were bad, like, or perhaps maybe you're thinking about, like, what if they work for someone else or something else? We have great processes for this. But really, if you've got any worry, come Fast Track the VA Academy 2.0. And what are we going to do? You get a free refund within the first 3 months, so 90 days if you're not happy, or unlimited replacements. Like, I don't think we can do any better than that. Like, absolutely amazing. And you get the full aftercare support. You get the private Facebook Academy chat. You also get my weekly support calls from HR manager to really support you, all our SOPs, all our bonus schemes. Absolutely amazing. That's free, 3 months, 100% money back guaranteed if you are not happy with your VA. I cannot stress it enough. Like, honestly, like, we've just completely like taken the risk out of hiring a VA. If it's something that you're interested in doing, check out fasttrackfba.com/VA. You'll see it down there. I'll drop a little comment as well. Guys, if you are joining, I appreciate there's quite a few of you on the call now. If you've got questions, drop it down below. I appreciate I can just sit here and talk about like my business forever and ever and ever. I'd rather help you and answer your questions. So do drop your questions down below. I'll also just type in now. So drop your questions down below. I'll kind of like hide that. And if your question is asked, you'll see it right here. So obviously you'll see your question here. So let's do that. So we do. I'm just going to hire a VA today. The new VA Academy 2.0. So guys, if you've got questions, drop it down below. Give me a thumbs up or just say hi. Like, I don't mind any kind of questions. 3, no questions asked. Let's do it again. Asked refund policy. Much more. Cool. We got here. Here we go. We've got a question coming in. Right, guys, if you are interested, obviously you want to know fasttrackfba.com. So new VA Academy 2.0, 3 months, no questions asked refund policy. I don't think you can beat that. And the reason is why are we doing that is because like we know how good our service is and we know we can support you. Like, I wouldn't be able to give that kind of advice if, you know, that offer, if we felt like, oh my God, like, you know, the kind of hit and miss, not at all. Like, we have full confidence in our service. If you're not happy with it, you know, within the first 3 months, you can get your money back, no questions asked. Very, very simple. Let's kind of jump through. Facebook user, well, I'm like up here. Tom, what I want to start an incentive scheme in the new year. Is worried about my VAs coasting right now. Perhaps waiting on the scheme. Do you recommend only putting those who perform before Christmas on the scheme? E.g., if you hit X amount of profit before Xmas, we'll add you to the scheme. Otherwise, then hit this. I think the best way to do it is number one, create your scheme. Fast Track FBA, VA Academy. In our MBA workbook, we have 4 schemes that I've used. Then, in addition to that, I need to get myself on the right side over here. Like, and then I think in addition to that, what else am I saying? Is the real question, which I'm really going to say to you, is number one, create the scheme, which is really good. Then number two is I'd put everyone on it, but obviously those who are coasting right now who are not going to be able to achieve the result. So the result has got to be only for those who are not coasting. Like, by the way, the people who are coasting, they're eligible, but if they're coasting, they're not going to get it. So I would make it so that if you coast, you're not going to get the result. That'd be my thing. And then I'd have a big launch party. I'd be like, right, guys, we're going to like get everyone together, big team meeting. Right, we're going to do this. This is where we're going to go. Drum up the energy. Give them some like incentives. Like, give an example. Like, this is where I think you're going to get to. This is what you can buy. Like, picture of a big screen TV, maybe a nice holiday away in like I don't know, somewhere like Cebu or Bohol. Like, kind of do those things. Like, make it visualized. It's not just money. It's like, here's what you're going to get. But I would make everyone available to it. But they have to be able to achieve or outperform. And what do we look at that? Well, originally it'd be deals, and it'd be spend, and then it'd be gross profits. That's what we're looking at. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers your questions. But Fast Track FBA VA Academy, and if you get that with the free VA, or you get the MBA workbook, we already have them. Let me know down below, Mr. Facebook user, if that answers your questions. Let's kind of go. So again, obviously, guys, new VA Academy, we do a 3 months, no questions asked refunds. Like, if you've got any worries about, if you're thinking about, hey, maybe I should do it myself, or should I go with Fast Track FBA? My God, if you do it yourself and the VA quits, you've just wasted all that time. Do it with us, and you're still not happy. My God, you get your money back. But I promise you, 300 customers, 550 VAs. There's a reason. We know what we're doing. It works, and you get the bonus scheme, like I just talked about. Let's go through. Facebook user, do you find the UK marketplace saturated? Great question. Let me give you some stats. I'm going to load up my ops reports. So my ops reports don't tell me so much stats, but I can tell you something. So UK business, let's go through some numbers, because people like numbers. Now, by the way, holistically, yes, it's getting more and more saturated every year. Why? Because more and more people are joining. But let's kind of look just over a recent thing. So, like, kind of what are we doing? Let's kind of have a quick look through. So if we just kind of talk around like spend wise, like three. So I'm going to give you the spend, the amount we spent on deals over the last 6 weeks. 6 weeks ago, 30,500. I'm rounding it. 5 weeks ago, 43,600. 4 weeks ago, 37,000. 3 weeks ago, 44,000. 2 weeks ago, 51,000. Last week, 44,000. Now, I don't know about you, that's actually going up, not down. It could be Q4, but I don't think it's saturated. So that's one option. And that's something to really think about. So I think there's a lot more deals out there, a lot more opportunity. We're also seeing profits are going up as well. Q4 definitely is having an effect on that. Do I think it's saturated? I think you've got to play the game differently. I think you've probably got to look at the side of the Argos. And I think there is more competition in the normal niches. But I do think there's still plenty of opportunity to make good money out of it. So do I think it's saturated? Yes, more, but then we kind of know that, like, is what do you call it? Is affiliate marketing saturated? Yeah, the longer any business model exists, the more it'll be saturated. So I think that kind of help answers your question. Let's go to Anthony. Anthony, hey Thomas, where in the world do you say? I hate to say it, mate, nothing interesting. Mexico City still beautiful. I love it. It's just out there. I would lift my camera up and move it around, but I'm not going to. But it is like, it's lovely. Oh, maybe I might be able to. Can I show you? There you go, Mexico City. There you go, absolutely lovely. So really nice. But I was in North. I went to a beautiful rock pool. I'll see if I can show you, make you all jealous. Sorry, I know it's not Amazon related, but I got to show off sometime. The other day, yesterday's weekend, here's where I went. Let me show you a picture. This is absolutely amazing, this place. Like, beautiful natural springs, naturally rock pools. I'll see if I can kind of hide that. There we go. Can you see that? Like, these are beautiful rock pools. They're naturally hot. We just spent all day sat in them. Amazing. Like they're just done, they're like the pools aren't natural. They're kind of put concrete, but the water comes down naturally. So nice, really good minerals, really hot. So yeah, that's where I was. About 4 hours north of Mexico City. Obviously enjoy it. Let's go through K. With retail arbitrage, if Amazon needs invoices, how does this work as I only have a receipt? So retail arbitrage, you'll probably just get a basic receipt. If you like, I'm not hot on retail arbitrage, but my understanding situation is you need to go to like customer service and make sure you've got a proper receipt which says what the products you bought. If it just says like toys, something, not good enough. It needs to show what the actual product is. Ideally the barcode, but at least the product, the price paid and the quantity purchased. If you haven't got that, go to reception, get them. Why? You can submit that as evidence if they need an invoice for like proof of authenticity, but what you can't do is submit the ones that just says toys. It doesn't work. That'd be my advice for you. So you need to make sure that you're getting the right itemized receipt. That's a very important point. So, but retail arbitrage, that's one of the negative sides of it in the fact that you do struggle with invoices. I hope that makes sense, Kay. Great question. Max. Hi, Tom. When would you recommend to get a VA? What kind of numbers should you want to be doing? So long story short, number one, you should be running your business and know what you're doing, and you should be profitable. Definitely think that. You should know how to source, sell, fine. Why? Because generally speaking, your VA is only going to be as good as you unless you buy someone or get someone who's experienced already. And let's be crystal clear. There's a lot of experienced VAs. I don't think they're very experienced. So they'll be around Facebook groups advertising. I don't think they're good. Like they'll probably be selling the same deals to many people. Also as well, they'll also just kind of give you deals. And if you're taking whatever deals they give you and buying them, your business will fail. You need to be able to see the deals they're giving you and to say, yeah, I like that one, I'm going to buy it, or no, I'm not, and here's why. You really need the ability to be able to analyze a deal and say why you like it and why you don't. That's key. Now, the next thing is so once you're running a business and you're profitable, that's super important. The next one to say is number one, you need about an hour a day, every day, to support your VA to give them feedback. Why? You need to tell them why I like that deal or why I don't. That's it. Please go and find more of these, less of these. And then number two is I really, really recommend you have about £5,000 or £4,000, $5,000 minimum at the end of the week. So say, for example, if you've been sourcing and spending your deals, you've got about £4,000 or £5,000 left every week, just like over the last 4 weeks, every week I seem to have about £4,000 or £5,000 left, or maybe up to 10,000 max, then I'd probably say you're about right. So it's not like every week you're growing it by 10,000. It's like I've spent all the money I can and I've still got more money left to spend. I just can't spend enough money every week, and I'm always left with a bit left. And that bit left should be about £4,000 or $5,000. Or should we say going up to about 10,000? If you go over 10,000, it's too much. You don't need any more than that. But 10,000 probably like the most. 4,000 is about the minimum. If you have that every week for the last couple of weeks, you're generally going to be fine. Then what I'd say is then actually buy a VA. So that'd be a really good point. It does take a while to train them up and to make sure they're right. And also look at Fast Track FBA VA Academy. I'm going to jump over. If my Pringer said, if you hire through us, if you have any problems, or if you're not 100% happy, you can get full refund, no questions asked, at any point from the moment they start to the end of that, within 3 months of them starting. Not 3 months of your payments, 3 months of you starting. Like, no one offers a service like this. We've done 550 VAs, 300 clients. We know what we're doing. You get the weekly support calls with my team and the VMBA workbook, so much more. My SOP is how I run my business. You get to hear that. And obviously, we've got 2 7-figure businesses. And if you're still not happy, my God, you can take your money back. Absolutely brilliant. Like, no one offers anything like that. So, Max, definitely for you, meet those. You know what you're doing. You're profitable as a business. You have an hour a day free, but also as well, generally at least £4,000 spare in cash, $5,000 just at the end of a week. For example, if you're seeing that regularly, then you're in the right place, up to about 10,000. If you have more than 10,000, you could hire 2, and sometimes it's a good idea, but hope that makes sense. Max, let me know if that's helpful down below. Facebook user, cheers, Tom, much appreciated. Pina colada, love it. Could do as a cocktail. Jay Clayton, hi Tom. I think your new offer of the VA Academy is good. However, don't you think people will abuse it and just ask for a refund right near the 1 mark? Really, I can really understand that. I think, look, when we looked at the VA Academy and we looked at, we say, how can we make this even better? The real question we tried to ask was about what's the worry for you as a customer? And we thought the worry was that before we had like a tiered refund policy, and also as well, sometimes things went wrong and that kind of left you as a customer maybe not in the best situation. We had to deal with it. So we wanted to say, look, forget us. forget fast track FBA, just look at the customer perspective and think about what's the best offer we could do. Like literally everything, like what would make it a no-brainer? Well, we said, look, if we believe in our product, we'll give you a full money back guarantee after 3 months. And we're like, wow, that's quite a big thing. And the question we asked then is like, wow, I think that's a really good offer, value. She said, like, people would like that, it would work. Now, I thought, right, this is the value, this is the offer we have to have. Why? Because if we can do that, it just makes it a no-brainer for everyone. Like, you can come, should I hire myself or should I fast track FBA? If I hire myself, I could lose time and money. If I go fast track FBA and it doesn't work out, I lose nothing. Like, it's all done for you because we save you the time. And the fundamental thing was like, that's a no-brainer. And that's what we wanted. We want to make it like thing. Now, the next question was like, can we actually do it? And I asked the question to my team. I was like, guys, if you believe in the service you're doing, like, if our service isn't good enough, we're going to get messed up. We're going to have problems because we've got so many refunds going on. And I said, right, let's look at the data. 500 VAs, 550 VAs, and we have like a really low refund rate, like really low, single digit, like really like sub 5%. And what does that mean? It means our customers are generally happy. And I was like, well, look, we have a great offer already. Why don't we just prove it? So that's why we put that offer together. And I really understand your point about how people who don't use it and ask for a refund after the 90-day mark. I can really understand that as well. But I think for us, it's like we need to deal with those individuals and that situation when it happens. But out of all the clients we've dealt with, 300 of them, they've been so good. Like, they've been a real pleasure to work with. I don't know if you've read, go to like Fast Track FBA, go to Google, you look at our profile, we've had like 25 reviews. One of them recently was like, I've hired 5 VAs from Fast Track FBA. I love them, like absolutely amazing. We have so many good clients and so many people who value it. And we really value that. And like, what we're not going to do is go hire for VA if someone wants to be a tyrant. But we do match good VAs with good clients, and we think that's great. So there might be an element of abuse, and like, I don't lie, that does happen. But I think that's for us to deal with, and we'll manage that. But I don't think because a few people are abusing the system that everyone should mess out. No, I think that we should either do a really good value, a good offer, give that to everyone, and where we think it's being abused, and we'll manually address that in itself. And my team are really good at doing that, and they have got a lot of communication inside. So Jay, great question. And I hope you understand that we don't want to impact the many good customers we have who do a great service or really enjoy our service with the few who might abuse it. Like, actually let us deal with that abuse, and for you, have a great value, have a great opportunity with us and the VAs and the way we work. And I think that'll be something really good for you, and and obviously helping you grow your business. And our value proposition is like, our method, you're going to love our service so much, and this VA is going to add so much value that you're going to want to come back. So if someone wants to abuse the system, like when they come back, we're like, hey, sorry, no, like there's a problem here. We're not going to accept this. That's the thing. We do a good job, you pay us for it, and then you're going to come back and do it. Why? Because we've seen it time and time again. People come back for more VAs because it works. This is where everyone's going. I'm not saying you should hire a VA if you haven't started, but I do think that our service obviously delivers that. So Jay, thank you so much, and I hope that understands. Let me know down in the comments below if that's helpful. Let's kind of jump through. Have you ever considered white label products? Yeah, obviously it's kind of like really a blend between wholesale and private label. And the one thing which oh my God, Alex Hormozy mentioned it the other day in a podcast I was listening to. He was like there's one underlying principle I really try and focus on. Simplicity is key. Complexity is the enemy. KISS, keep it simple, stupid, and I'm fucking stupid. Like, I am the stupid guy. And why do I say that is because what do? We see, when you talk about white labeling products, I get that, but you're going into the private label world, and the private label world is very different from the reselling world. Arbitrage, wholesale, online arbitrage is very different. So I don't want to make it complex. I want to make it more simple and scale that. Even if you look at my UK business, we were doing OA in the UK. We had EFN and eBay. We stopped eBay. We stopped EFN. We just did UK. What happened? We literally tripled revenues, went from 1 million to 3.5 million. Why? Because it's simpler, not more complex. White labeling products adds complexity, probably doesn't rate extra profits. So no, we considered it, but the answer is no. Hope that makes sense, Facebook user. Let me know down below. Susabola, hope that makes sense. I used to be able to sell Funko Pops, and now they're locked for some reason. Cool. Get ungated. Like, Amazon does it. It's really annoying. They gate stuff after. It's really annoying, but you got to get ungated. Sometimes it just won't let you sell, period. Like Apple products, not going to happen. So you have to get ungated. Abdil, what's your advice for a newbie in wholesale USA? Probably follow Amazon Lit. That's what they're really good at it. They're the best guys I know doing it. Watch Me Amazon's good as well. I don't do wholesale in the USA. Get yourself engaged. Start calling. I hate to say it. Go follow Amazon Lit. Like, I'm part of their community. I think those guys are great. I've met them many times. I don't do wholesale, and especially I don't even do it in the USA. So I'm really not the best person. Online arbitrage, I can help you all the time. But wholesale, I follow Amazon Lit. They do a lot of lives, weekly lives. Just follow them. Really recommend it. Facebook user, hi Tom, I've got your USS. I've been using SDK software until now, and there's some overlap. Do you think you still need to keep SDK? Yeah, definitely. Like, we use both. We really use both. SDK is great. It's live. Repricing is why we use SDK, and also as well, the USS will give you P&L, but it's not perfect. Like, it doesn't pull everything perfectly because Amazon keeps changing stuff, updating. The SDK kind of pulls that a bit more accurately. I think the real best analysis for you is, let's put it this way, SDK is great for real-time P&L, repricing, inventory reclaims. It will do that very, very well. Even just inventory reclaims, I think, is worth it without a shadow of a doubt. The USS is all about improving your sourcing, helping you find more deals, speeding up your sourcing, purchasing criteria, all of that. Like, the USS can't really help you build like a better buying sheet, how you do all that, upload it to USS, upload it to Seller Central, speed up that process. Should we say SDK can't help you do that, but the USS can. The USS will do your buy sheet, it will help you track everything, it will tell you where you're buying from, help you do reorders as well. But really it's about the 80-20 rules, that's what you're looking for, it's about the automation, it's about even building custom sheets. Like, my team right now, and we're literally like, we'll purchase something, it'll automatically fill out the prep center sheet, so we'll just copy that straight onto the prep center sheet. That'll take like 2 seconds, whereas normally that'll take like 10-20 minutes. That's 10-20 minutes I can't spend sourcing because we're doing this. Also, I click one button, upload it to Amazon, create the SKUs, and click another button, send it all to SDK. These are like, that's probably like, even where it's telling you like recording all your purchases, recording your 80-20, and probably saving half an hour a day minimum just on buying and admin. Like, that's 2.5 hours of sourcing. That's actually quite a bit of time. Like, really understand that. The USS is going to speed up those processes, and it's going to give you insights into your process, particularly around where to buy, what to do, and the profitability. And the big one behind the USS, VA accountability. I cannot stress that enough. We do a lot in the Seller Academy, and that's my community of like top arbitrage professionals, really helping them grow up, building the teams. If you're interested in scaling your business with a team, Fast Track FBA Seller Academy is going to help you. Like, you get weekly calls with me and my team, 4 calls a week, incredible. You can see it on the Fast Track FBA website. But the USS is going to give you all the details you need about how much you'll purchase this week, how much estimated profit you should make, how much each VA is generated this week, how much estimated profit they're going to generate, how much actual profit they've generated. You can do bonus schemes off it. You can do something similar with SDK, but you need to download reports, really sort it out. The USS does it automatically. Again, time is money. You literally just want to go, click a button, click that, load that, done. 2 seconds later, got the result. Cool. You made this much profit. You're not performing. Not like every week having to download a report, reformat it, tabulate, table it, sort it out. Like, that just takes too much time. Like, our job is to be focusing on making money, not building reports. Our reports should be automatic, and that's what the USS does amazingly. But also the SDK does really, really well as well. But for like repricing, inventory management, and P&L for item by item, like, we use it really a lot. So I do think they work really well together. We've got the integration, so definitely get them both. If you're interested in USS, you can go to fasttrackfba.com/USS. You can book a free call with my team. Which is better, retail arbitrage or online arbitrage? Which is better for what? Sleeping? I have no idea. You need to understand which is better for what. I'm guessing you're talking about profits. If you've got a limited budget, retail arbitrage would be better. If you've got more money than time, then retail arbitrage is the better one. If you're in another country like me, online arbitrage. What should you say? More money than time is online arbitrage. If you've got a small budget, retail arbitrage. If you're not based in the country, you're not doing retail arbitrage. That's not possible. But if you're based outside the country, online arbitrage is better. Let me know what you're optimizing for. That's an important question, not just which is better for what result. Be very results focused, people. I cannot stress that enough. Let's go through. Dragon Nanimate. Hi Tom, every time I see your account, I'm logged in. Can you say about reason, please? Every time I see your account, I'm logging. Can you say about? I don't understand your question. Can you let me know down below? That'd be greatly appreciated. I don't understand your question. It doesn't make sense. Let's go through. Smackheads TV. Hi, Tom. What is your opinion on FBA EU PAN? Will you be jumping on the bandwagon? So I do know it. Long story short is no, I'm not, and there's a reason why. So what is my opinion? FBA EU PAN is fine. There's no problem. A lot of people do it like they'll ship just to. So you can do PAN EU, which is they ship everywhere. There is another one you can do. You can just hold it within Germany, for example, which is the biggest marketplace, and then do what's EFN from Germany outwards. That's another way of doing it. So it's kind of like FBA within one country. So you're doing FBA in the UK and Germany. That's fine. I know people who do that. PAN EU, you kind of ship to everywhere in Europe, which is a bit more of a nightmare. For me, the reason why we're not is right now I have a UK business, a USA business. We will create a Germany-based business, and I'll do exactly what I just said. So I'll create like a business in Germany, and we will hold our stock in Germany, do VAT registration in Germany, but I'm not interested in VAT registration everywhere else unless we break the threshold. But then we'll do EFN from Germany out. Really, because Germany is the biggest market, second biggest marketplace in the world, and the other ones are okay, but they're not brilliant. And I don't think I really want to be holding stock everywhere. It would just be a logistical nightmare. So we'll create a third business, and that's why. And the reason why we won't do it from the UK over to Germany is because if I were to ever sell with two different companies which I own on the same ASIN in the same marketplace, Amazon could shut both accounts down. So we don't even want that. We just say we're never selling in Europe from the UK, so that when I open up my EU business, Amazon can never accuse us of it, and we can prove that we've never even sold anything in that marketplace for a year. So hence why. I hope that makes sense, but good question. Abdul, which accounting agency are you using for submitting tax in the USA? Fasttrackfba.com. Go to the top, go to courses, getting started in USA, and you can see the details. It's a course, I do charge for that information. Why? Because I've spent a long time researching it and looking for them. There are a lot of them who do your financing, but you want Amazon specific ones. I'd really recommend that. Buy my course, get the information. Please appreciate it took me a long time to get that information. That's why we do charge for it. I can't give out everything for free. You have to earn some money at the end of the day. Let's jump through. Smackheads TV. When is your Amazon automatically enrolling on the program? Is yours turned on? No, we don't. So, my God, by the way, if you're doing PAN EU automatic enrollment, you shouldn't be automatically enrolled. Why? Because when you're doing PAN EU, you're holding stock in that country. When you hold stock, you have to be VAT registered. And PAN EU means you're holding stock in all countries, France, Italy, Germany, Spain. And I think there might be another one now. That means you now have to be VAT registered in all those countries and do VAT compliance. It's not cheap. Like, it's not cheap. And then you have to do it every year or file every 3 months, for example. Or some of them monthly. It's an absolute nightmare. So you shouldn't have it turned on automatically. Amazon don't do it automatically. EFN, they might do automatically, but not PAN EU. Do check that. It's really important. But no, we don't do it. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Mine's turned off. No. Jump through. What is your buying unit strategy while buying high BSR running products? Generally speaking, we'll probably buy 1 month's worth of stock. We'll take into consideration around the number of competitors. So to put it in perspective, if there is a lot of competitors on listing, we'll probably buy less. If there's not many, I'll buy more. But generally about 1 month, that's the kind of thing. If I've got a lot of cash, I might buy a bit more, but that's about it really. I probably wouldn't do any more than that. Hope that makes sense. Let's go and jump through. Anthony, okay, what's your best cashback credit cards UK? So I'll talk you through the ones I've got. So we use primarily Amex Platinum because it's not cashback, it's points. Because I travel a lot, I really like that. But it is a charge card, not a credit card. Number 2, we use Amex Gold, again, points, charge card, not credit card. If you're thinking about the two and you want to do a lot of travel, get the Platinum because you get like the lounges and the gold upgrades in Marriott and Hilton, so they're really good. You do get a few more points with the gold versus the platinum, but they're both charge cards. What's the other one? So we use those two. We also use Capital on Tap. Now, Capital on Tap is great because you can issue cards directly to staff members, so I love that. The one thing to say is you're not supposed to really do it if they're not in the UK, I think. But the other one is the fact that there is a personal liability, personal guarantee on Capital on Tap. So if business fails and your business fails and you owe money to Capital on Tap, they can come after you personally. You're signing that. Be very, very careful. And then the third one we rarely use is the Santander 123 business cashback credit card, and it's a 1% cashback. It's not 123. It's just called Santander business cashback credit card. It's a 1%. So we rarely use that. I think that's it. Predominantly, I think right now we've got about 160,000 on the platinum, probably like 40,000 on the gold, and Santander probably like another 80,000 like balance right now. By the way, they're changing all the time, so we do spend quite heavily on them. So we've got 2 charge cards, one and then 2 credit cards. And by the way, the Santander is awful. It's £7,500. I'm like, I can spend that in a day. I've asked for an increase, and they're like, please write us a business proposal and then bring it into branch. I'm like, you're just not helping my business. I'm not doing that. No. So Capital on Tap, I just called them. By the way, I just called them and said, hey, can I have an increase? And they're like, yeah, fine. Like, absolutely fine. We got to 100K, so really happy with that. So I hope that makes sense, Anthony. Let me know down below if that's helpful. Let's jump through. Guys, if you've got questions, drop them down below. I will answer them. What's a God sell? Good sell? I don't know. I'm going to jump through. Sorry. Tally FBA. Hi, Tom. Is it wise to increase your price of minimums during Q4 10%? Yes, if you think you're going to get more money, but no, if you don't think you are. Read the keeper analysis, right? Really understand your keeper analysis. If you think you can get more money, absolutely do it. A guy I know, Mr. Luke Dugan, he literally like buy up stock when it's rubbish and then hold it until like the 20th of December. And that's when it's going crazy and it will sell out. So it can work. It's just, you got to be on top of it. If you're like taking a couple of days off around the late part of December, you're going to get ruined. Like, don't hold on to that Christmas stock after December. It won't sell. But yeah, you can definitely do it. So it's a good idea. Why don't you use other platforms to scale your business other than Amazon? Simplicity is the key. Stop trying to do everything all at once. Complexity is the enemy. Other platforms cause more complexity, but they don't necessarily cause you more profits. We learned that with eBay. We used to do eBay, and then we saw that we were probably making less than £1,000 a month, so we just cancelled it, and we put that resource now into the UK. Big difference. Let's jump through. Dragon, are you proud of yourself? While I like to think I'm proud of myself. I think if you can't be proud of yourself, then you're probably doing something wrong. Do I think I could do better? 100%. But yeah, definitely proud of myself. I hope you are too. Keep smashing it, and if you're not, ask yourself what would make yourself proud, and then work towards doing that. Enjoy. Jay, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just shows how confident you are that you're offering great service, which as a customer is very confident. Sorry. Yeah, agreed. No, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. And Jay's asking about the VA Academy offer, if you want to know. That's our version 2.0, 3 months, no questions asked, full refund policy. If you're not happy with your VA, Fast Track FBA VA Academy, fasttrackfba.com/VA, helps if I wrote a gap in there. You get a full refund within 3 months. Like, it's like no one else offers that. It's incredible. Why? Because we have confidence within our ability. That's something that we really focus on. So Jay, like, I really do, and also as well, I want you to feel that. Like at the end of the day, I want it to be like this. If you buy a service from us and it doesn't add value to your business, then I think you should get your money back. I really do. Why? Because number one, our service isn't fit for the purpose we're trying to sell it for. And then number two, our job is to add value to your business so that your business grows and then you come back and buy more services. And that's called a win-win relationship. If I win by taking money and you lose, that's not good. That's not a good relationship. We want you to keep coming back. Like, honestly, so like that's why we're saying, look, if you're not happy, you get your money back. Absolutely guaranteed. So Fast Track FBA, VA Academy 2.0. If you're not happy within the first 3 months, you get 100% refund. No problem. That's what we do. Let's kind of go through. Dragon, what's your opinion? Oh my God, Dragon. One sentence, one whole sentence, not kind of little bits getting scattered. Hey Tom, I'm in the process of becoming VAT registered and have a sourcing VA for myself. I'm struggling to get my head around sourcing once registered. Do I need to, for example, when we go jump over, cost including VAT, selling VAT, do I remove the VAT for calculation and sourcing the account for and selling them overcomplicating? Long story short, I think you're overcomplicating it. Like, you should understand it. There's a look at how VAT works. We actually wrote a really good video on our YouTube channel about how that works, and I literally give you an example from Argos. Like, it's just like Argos, we buy a phone or something. It's really good. Watch that YouTube video, that'll help you do it. But long story short, if you're going to ask me, what you need to do, number one, change your repricing, or change your software sourcing tool right now to account for that. Even if you're not VAT registered yet, start doing it. Why? Because those deals which were profitable when you're not VAT registered are now are no longer profitable when you're going to stop buying them, because guess what? They're not going to sell until you are VAT registered. And what's going to happen? Oh my God, all the products I bought 1 month before VAT registration weren't actually profitable, and so everything I'm selling 1 month after VAT registration are now going to be just dead weight. So change your sourcing criteria right now, change your calculator, like SAS FBA Module by Bot Pro, turn the VAT setting on, and then just source on that. And then once you change over to VAT registered, obviously what you're going to need to do is obviously maybe STK, change that to VAT registered, and obviously get something like Xero or QuickBooks. We use Xero, I'd recommend that more. And then obviously you could do Making Tax Digital, because you need to do that. And speak to your accountant, have an accountant. That's a really important point. They'll help you as well. So hope that makes sense, AJL. Let me know down below if it doesn't. Let's kind of go through rice flips. What are your chances of finding a long-lasting replen manually sourcing a site? It depends what you define as a long-lasting replen. Sorry, I'm just seeing something else. It depends what you ask as a long-lasting replen. Because look, in my business, we do the analysis. About 80% of my purchases are replenishables, but I need to put a really big caveat in there. We define a replenishable as any ASIN that we purchase more than once in any 12-month period, 365 days. So we're not saying that the supplier is the same. We're not saying that we can buy it one day and then the next day we can keep buying it and keep buying it and keep buying it. What we're saying is we bought it at one point previously in the last 12 months. That's a replenishable. Like, what do I think the chances are of being able to find a product today that you can keep buying and buying and buying every single week, and that number one is going to be available by the supplier, and then number two is going to be, should we say, profitable within the business? Slim. I will say that slim. Why? Because you got to think about, like, why does arbitrage exist? What is arbitrage that we're doing? We're basically taking advantage of inefficiencies within the marketplace. We notice that from Walmart, they're selling it for one price, and in Amazon selling for another, and we're buying and we keep the difference minus the fees to Amazon. But there's a big enough difference in the difference in the price that we can maximize it. And obviously, the longer we do that for, the more chance that that difference is going to start coming down. Why? Because what we always see within the Amazon marketplace is that the competition generally increases the longer a product is around. Like, all it takes is people do reverse sourcing. They find that product and, oh wow, we can buy it from Walmart, great. And then the more competition comes up, the price starts to come down, and that arbitrage difference decreases, and all of a sudden it runs down. So slim to none. But what we do also know is that, let's say for example, let's take Head and Shoulders. Tom washes his hair with Head and Shoulders. We do understand that should we say Procter & Gamble, I think they're the people who make it, they might have a promotion on Head and Shoulders in March, and then they might do another promotion in July and another one in August. But in March they'll do it with Walmart, and in August or in July they'll do it with Sears, and then someone else will do it with another supplier. So what we understand is the same product is on promotion, but the people who are selling that promotion because they've managed to get the discount from Procter & Gamble directly will change. So fundamentally, the product's available at different times of the year at a great price, which allows us to, should we say, replenish it. But number two, the supplier who we buy it from might change. So, and again, it's about how you think about the whole problem about replenishables. So that's why, and the reason why I tell you that and I stress it is because it just teaches you the importance of going back over old products over and over again, looking for new suppliers, looking for things, because that's how it works. Like, by the way, Alex Hormozy talked about it. I read a really interesting thing about, like, the Delta Force, why they're the best operators, and someone said it's not because they're great, it's just because they do the basics more consistently than anyone else. They do the basics so well that when it comes to high level stuff, they have the mental capacity to deal with it. Alex Hormozy talks about it like, how do you just scale up the business? He goes, like, we just do the basics really, really, really well consistently. Marketing, how do you market? You just do the basics really, really well. Sourcing, you don't keep jumping from shiny object, you just keep doing the basics. Or the basics, find products that are selling, keep finding them again, keep looking for them. Super boring, it really is. But I hate to say it, that's the way that, like, what do we do? Like, everyone's like, Tom, what's a new sourcing technique? I'm like, there isn't. We just do the same sourcing techniques on the same products, but we just keep doing it, and we just keep scaling. And that's how we went to 3.5 million in the UK now, and 1.2 million in the US right now. So rice flips, I really understand, like, just keep doing the same stuff. You'll figure it out. You'll get there. I promise you. AJ, we've done that one. Dragon Nimation. Why are you asking my questions? I think you say, why are you not answering my questions? Because I don't understand. I'm really sorry. They don't make sense, and they're all kind of scattered. So, like, I'm more than happy to answer your question. But if you can put them in like one block and it can make sense, I'll do that. I promise you. Let's kind of jump through. AJL. I use the USS as my Bible. Great tool, by the way. Thank you very much. I then use FTK for accounting and FBA multi-tool for our sourcing software. I lost that one then. I also Joe at Ecom Accountant. Fantastic. Hey, I'm really pleased. Like, I'm really pleased it works. Yeah, and like at the end of the day, like you don't have to use the USS, you don't have to use SDK, you don't have to use FBA multi-tool, you don't have to use Joe at Ecom Accountants. There are so many ways to play this game. The one thing which hopefully you learn from me is that I talk about what I'm doing, I show you, you see it in the results, and I'm not going to say we're perfect. We're not. We have problems. My God, I have problems right now with accountability. Hence why I started this entire call about accountability. But what I do is I share with it, and hopefully by seeing what I'm talking about, you can really like learn something from that, and hopefully I can help your business out, and hopefully you're going to take value from what I share in this live right now, but also as well, because you take value from it, you're going to come buy our products and services. Because why? I hope they give you value as well. Hence why the VA Academy right now, we got, the version 2.0. If you buy a VA from us, you got any problems and you're not happy, in the first 3 months you get your money back guaranteed in the first 3 months. That's incredible. No one does anything like that. It's absolutely incredible. Like, honestly, I think you'll love it. Joe, thank you for your answer, by the way. One more. Are you still using SDK Reprice UK? I use it currently, but I would appreciate your feedback on that. So we changed to Go Aurora in the US, didn't like it, came back. So we use SDK in both UK and US. Is it perfect? No. No Reprice will be perfect. We know that. Is it good enough? It works for the moment. We're still trying to figure it out. There's one thing that I don't like about it. They have like a little function called it's called profit guard or buy box guard or something, and if you click it, it allows the replacer to go below your minimum on the rules. I'm like, so we don't tick that. That's the only one thing I was going to say, but we are working a lot with it right now. And if you want to know, long story short, we're working on min-max pricing. That's it, around the rules. So I'll keep you updated, but yeah, we do use it, and I think that it's the easiest thing to do. So it's not perfect, but it works. And at the end of the day, no repricer is perfect, and I say that for a fact. Guys, we've got 11 minutes. If you've got any questions, do let me know, but I'll carry on. Richie Resells. Hi, Tom. Thanks so much for giving me your time to do this every week. Oh, no, I appreciate it. And Richie, I appreciate obviously you had so much value as well. I've learned so much. The hour is really valuable to me. I appreciate it. Cool. No, Richie, thank you so much. And obviously, thank you for your feedback, comments, likes. And guys, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. I can see them like up here. I can see a little like. So if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. And Richie, I just want to say thank you so much as well. I appreciate it. By the way, like I do this hour. Because hopefully you understand that I enjoy giving back. I do also want to just stipulate that I'm not an expert. Like, I sell in my Amazon business. Thank you for the guy who just gave me a like. Woo! I sell in my Amazon business. I have many problems. It's not perfect. And there's a lot of people who probably hate me, and I can see that many times on like the listings that we're on, and people like things. But like, I'm not perfect, and my team aren't perfect, and we're trying to do it. But hopefully you can understand that I do enjoy giving back. I enjoy sharing, and I enjoy building businesses, and I enjoy helping other people. And if you're if people are willing to listen and to ask great questions, I'll give you my honest answer, and I won't mislead you. So I hope you understand that. But also I will say that selling on Amazon is hard. Any business is inherently hard. And number two is the fact that please understand that unfortunately I won't be able to give you all the answers for free. Like, it's taken me a long time, a lot of stuff to get this information, and I won't give you everything you ask for, but I will do it in reason. But Richie, I just want to say thank you so much for the feedback. It means a lot to me, and also as well everything that you do as well. So thank you so much. English with me. So do you sell different products every month or the same items every month? I'd probably say I sell different products every month. I can't really exactly stipulate that. Again, if you talk about, I'm guessing you're talking about replens. Remember, it's the same ASIN we've sold at least one point over the past. So it could be the case that we sell like 300, I think we have about 1,000 ASINs. We might sell 1,000 products in March, and then in June, they might be a completely different 1,000 ASINs. And then back in September, it could be completely the same 1,000 ASINs. They're always changing, but over the course of the year, they'll kind of change. Like we'll replenish them. So every week we look at our purchase, and we look at the ASINs we're purchasing, and we cross-reference them versus the ASINs we purchased in the last year, and we say, have I ever bought that ASIN before? And 89% of the time, the answer is yes. That's it. 83, I think it is 83% of the time is yes. So why do we do it that way? Is because so many people talk about replenishables that no one actually defines what replenishable is. And I'm not saying my definition is correct, but what I am saying is unless you define clarity what it is, you can't accurately measure it. Because what is a replenishable? If you're just saying it's a product I can buy every week, well, that's not going to happen, because one day the buy box might be out, another day that the buy box might not be profitable, another day the supplier might be out. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep checking it, focusing on that. It just measures that we choose to look at. I hope that makes sense. But English with me, great question. Hope that answers your question. Let's jump through. Carlos, hello Tom, are you worried at all about new sellers coming into your listings and taking prices? I've noted this saturation. Most listings coming to saying most of my listings currently, so you're doing 1.8 million a year. Honestly, really, really well done. That's like amazing. Are we worried about new sellers? Is a consideration, but look, at the end of the day, our job is to understand the market conditions. Now, there are two things you can consider. You can't change competition. If you don't want to compete versus the sellers in a marketplace, you know the answer. Just stop selling on Amazon. But that isn't an option because you're doing 1.8 million a year right now and you're doing well, and obviously you're making money from that. Well, I hope you're making money. But number two is the fact that our job is to try and find ways around it. So what do? We do one of two things. One, we crash the price quickly and get out because the number of competition is going up. Or number two, we hold until the new sellers clear out. That's the thing. So like again, the game has changed. We now need to figure a different way of playing it, and because the competition has changed as well. But my God, when I first started, I was a new seller and I probably crashed the price. My God, I still do it now. Sometimes people hate me for it. But the old sellers 5 years ago, they hated me because I was the new guy coming in doing it. And in 5 years' time, there'll be someone else doing it on Amazon. So long story short, our job is just to adapt. That's it. It's a marketplace. We can't stop the competition. We've got to adapt to it. Let's fire through, guys. I've got 7 minutes. Richie, how is January for your business? I think it's good. I think last year, by the way, last year, November, I think we did about 300,000. Obviously US I can't really comment because we just went up in like a line. UK I can talk about, so let's do that now. Yeah, so November last year, by the way, you can look at my graph. It's not the most pretty graph in the world, but you can kind of see like November last year, that was about 300,000. December was about 450,000. January, we did 300,000. We did more in January than we did in November. And we did more in February than we did in November. And we did more in March than we did in November. So you can definitely do it. So last year, like, how do we do? Like, we operate about 5% margin. So it might drop down to like 3% and then sometimes up a bit higher, but average about 5% plus a year. So like, we're fine. But I think the question for you is look, if you're saying you're making a loss in January, it's either one of two things. Number one, you're buying products that should have been sold in December and you didn't get them cleared down, so I'd get that done. Or number two is the fact that you're clearing old stock intentionally in January because you think that's a good time. But then you accept that, like you can mitigate that 1K loss, for example, by not clearing down stock, maybe doing it in February. Voila, you just solved the problem. My question is like, if strategically you want to clear down stock in January, you think that's a good time to do it, and you can take a 1K loss, and that's fine. I wouldn't worry about that. I would look at the kind of profitability of your business across the whole year, because it's okay to lose money. It really is. Like, don't let people fool you. Like, no, you should always be profitable. Like, no, my God, if I'm going to strategically lose money in January to clear down stock at a great time, that I'm not going to hold dead stock through February, March, and April, and May, then maybe that'll clear up some capital that you can now start reinvesting in stock. So I get your point, but there's nothing wrong with losing money, so long as you understand why you're losing it and your intention is to say, like, I'm clearing down stock, and I appreciate that I may lose money as a result of this because I'm being quite aggressive on it. Like, my God, how many millions of little new sellers are going to say, oh my God, your business is crap, you're losing money. Like, yes, I lost money in January, but this year I made it 100,000. Like, no, that's fine. You can lose money so long as in the big grand scheme of things, in January of the year, you're profitable. Hope that makes sense, Richie. Be careful what you read. Like, really do. Just be mindful. Again, be strategic about what you're doing. But again, let's be crystal clear. Let's talk about on a listing. You can intentionally lose money on a listing because you want to crash the price down because maybe you're waiting for your next stock to come in that's going to come in a month's time to make sure everything's cleared out. So your first bit of stock, you might crash the price. I'm not saying you should. People hate me for saying that, but it might be a strategy you have. Again, it's a game we play. Right, Flips, I'm stuck just under 15K a month. What sourcing methods or tips do you recommend? I find myself having to bot my best products in order to avoid cancellations. Look, I'm not going to lie. I don't do sourcing. I don't even do sourcing. Like, we have VAs, they do it all. I think that at the end of the day, business comes down to three core things: time, money, and the ability to invest the money into deals. So it's investments, opportunities. So at a very fundamental level, there's the three things you're looking at. So if you've got too much money, probably hire a VA or use something to buy more deals. If you haven't got enough deals, or if you haven't got enough money, then you've got to go find more money because you've got the deals to spend. And then finally, if you haven't got enough time, you'll either become more efficient, work more efficient, look at time boxing, or probably hire a VA to free up time. They'll free up your time, which will allow you to, which is, help find more deals. Like they're the three things. And I talk about them massively in the Seller Academy. And like whenever we're just looking at those three metrics at a very fundamental level: my time, money, and deals, or ability to invest time, invest money into deals. Because at the end of the day, all we do is we take money, put it into deals, sell it, make more money. We keep doing that. And our ability to scale is just doing that same repetition over and over and over again. It's so simple. And our ability to scale is our time to focus on that process and make it faster. So hope that makes sense. But I wouldn't be about sourcing methodology, tips or tricks. Like, I think you should be over that at 15K a month. Like you're doing 7.5K, you're doing what, £2,000, £1.5 to £2,000 a week spend, 15K a month sales. You should know sourcing methodologies and tips. I don't think that's going to be your answer. It's going to be about, do I have more time or do I have more money? Hope that makes sense, Rice Flips. Good question, but I hope it understands. Carlos, also, what are your current KPIs for your sourcing VAs? They must submit 10K worth of deals. So generally at a fundamental level, we do, when we first VA Academy, we look at number of deals to start with, deals purchased per week, per day. Then we look at spend per day. Then we look at estimated gross profit. We do have some other KPIs that we track quite aggressively, but we only really talk about in the Seller Academy. And we have the whole tracking reporting behind it and the automatic KPI generation results of them. So you can literally see those numbers. There are 7 numbers we track for each sourcing VA. And there's a reason why and what we do. And we talk about in the Seller Academy, we have it's all built into the USS, but that really helps out because I don't want to confuse you, but at a very fundamental level, spend is a great one, and then estimated gross profit. They're the two that I'd really look at. And then obviously you can convert them to actual gross profit, which is what you really care about. So there you go, 4. Give you 4 numbers, those KPIs. Let's kind of jump through. Thank you for such a great service. Cool, thank you. Liam, how much do you pay for prep and fees? I think in the US about $1.20, in the UK it's about 50p plus that. I think, don't quote me exactly, but my team will do that one. Let's jump through Smackheads TV. I just got my first Amazon loan, 18K. Woohoo! Honestly, well done. Honestly, do your calculations. There's 3 top tips for you to take an Amazon loan. Number 1, do I have the ability to invest that money? Like, you might need to hire a VA. Like, I'm not saying like buy VA all the time, no, but like, there's no point taking money if you can't invest it. We had a £750,000 Amazon loan. Like, I wasn't able to spend it, so I didn't take the full amount. So number 1, do you have the capability now to invest it all? Because if you don't invest it, you're just wasting it. Number 2 is, do you have the capacity to deal with the administration behind it? I.e., when you ramp up from, like 5,000 revenue per month up to 20,000 revenue a month, there's a lot of administration goes with that, invoices, etc., prep centers, etc. And then the final one, do you have the capacity, i.e. prep, you personally or your prep center, to handle the increasing volume? 3 top tips there. I shared also them, Amazon loan videos. Watch them. You'll see that kind of like analysis I'm doing. So don't just think about, oh, well, money. There's a lot of considerations. Guys, I do need to finish up. So let's go through. Do you ever use Amazon liquidity services and sending back yourself? Yeah, like we haven't, but I think we just started. I think it's a really big area that we need to look at, but I definitely think it's worthwhile, because when we return it back to ourselves, we get like 40% minus all the fees and everything. It's not worth it. Like, liquidation service is probably worth it. How do you deal with price tanking? Wait or sell or join them. That's it. Join them, wait. Really simple. Is it good to sell toys in January and February? Yeah, toys sell all year round. People have birthdays. Really good. Sorry, I'm just getting really fast. Completely makes sense. There's no shortcut sourcing, just time versus money. Yeah, agreed. Final one. In the US, during the period when you're unable to list multiple products, what do you usually substitute them with? Still hit your overall target ROI. Buy different products. That's it. Just find different products. Like, if you can't sell, by the way, if you're doing only FBA and you can't ship those items in the V, then find some other products that you can ship in. That's it. Or you can do fulfillment by merchant. I hope that makes sense. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I do just want to come back and say, first things first, if you are looking for a VA, Fast Track FBA, VA Academy 2.0, we have a new 3 months, no questions asked refund policy. So if you're thinking about hiring a virtual assistant for your Amazon business and you're worried, maybe I should do it myself, maybe I should pay Fast Track FBA to do it. And by the way, we've hired 550 VAs for 300 clients. We know what we're doing. Also, you get weekly support calls, and you get the MBA workbook, SAPs, bonus schemes, everything that you want. And you're worried, which one should I do? Well, if you go with yourself, if the VA doesn't work out all the time, hiring, training, supporting them all, that's going to be a problem for you. That's going to take time. That's going to be a risk. Or you can go with us. You do pay us a fee. But if you are not happy with the result, You can get your money back at any point within 3 months. Or if you're not happy with the VA, we also replace them. So if you're like, I'm not happy with the VA, I want a different VA, cool, we'll replace them. An unlimited number of times in the first 3 months. No one does anything like this. It takes the risk away from you. Why? Because we believe in our service. We know how much value it adds. And also you get to see everything that I'm doing with my business. You can see how our SOPs. If you're interested, fasttrackfba.com/VA. Just check it out. Have a look. Honestly, I think you'll really like it. But I do just want to say, from everyone else or for myself, and obviously, thank you so much for joining me on this live today. I will see you back same time next week. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. Have a great week. Bye-bye.